Okay, here we are with the latest chapter in the supernatural 1967 Chevy Impala, the 125th scale build. We're going to be looking at the engine in this video, and the assembly of the engine, and the ups and downs and the plus and minuses of it. One of the pluses is that it's got a bunch of hidden detail that if you want to build an engine that's in the process of being assembled or disassembled, will make a very nice diorama. As you can see here, I've detailed the rocker arms and the inside of the cylinder head. Once you seal it up, you won't be able to see it again, but this just to give you an idea of what kind of diorama you can set up with it. And underneath the cylinder head, cast into the block, are the pistons. So you can, if you want to take the cylinder head off and put it in a shop diorama, it would make a pretty neat little model. One of the issues I had during assembly was with the alternator bracket and the alternator assembly and the belt drive bracket assembly. The instructions show you attach the alternator and arm assembly to the belt drive and attach the belt drive to the block. If you do that, the alternator arm will be hanging out in space. It will not contact the block, at least in my kit. So what I did was reposition it. There's a notch just behind the alternator pulley that attaches to the alternator where they want you to position it. I move it over a little bit and glue the arm to the block. And now I have a properly mounted alternator and belt drive assembly. Their way of mounting it, in my view, won't look correct, so slight modification will be needed. Leaves a small gap between the alternator pulley and the alternator itself, which is something you just have to live with. The starter assembly, the mounting pin that holds to the oil pan, will have to be shaved down as it pushes the starter out too far, and it'll be out past the where it's supposed to mount it to the transmission. So basically, you just cut that down a little bit, enough just to get the starter to sit straight, and you'll be fine there. The distributor, you have to remount the hole in the intake manifold where the distributor mounts, as I found that it wouldn't fit fully flush. That was just a little reaming out, and then it was fine. The exhaust manifolds, the driver's side was fine, no issues at all. The manifolds went onto the little locating pins that are in the cylinder head and slotted in just fine. On the passenger side, the little tabs were on the cylinder head, but they weren't engraved their mating surface into the manifold. So use a slow setting glue, and you're going to have to position it and make some adjustments as it's going on. And I think those were basically all of the issues I had with this build so far. I'm building it as a well-used engine, so you can see it's got weathering. Right now wiring the cylinders. But this engine is not new. You can see a little bit of rust and weathering on the exhaust manifolds. The transmission, it's not shiny clean, not shiny new. This is Sam and Dean racing all over America fighting demons in a well-used car. It's an all-red engine, which I'm not a fan of, as I think it was a lot of detail there. But with the weathering and painting out a few of the accessories, makes a really good-looking engine, I think.